some big new questions surrounding the Clinton Foundation. The Wall Street Journal has reported that some of Hillary Clinton's big campaign donors are also stepping up their contributions to the Clinton Foundation at this point, with at least 14 of them volunteering to chip in $100,000 apiece. Also, fresh allegations that the foundation received donations from the Swiss bank UBS after the then Secretary of State helped the company to settle a tax issue case, which we're going to get into the details of. She says there was nothing inappropriate that took place.
I would say that any implication that is attempting to be made along those lines is categorically false. And I worked hard as our nation's first diplomat to solve problems, to work with my colleagues in government.
All right, let's get to this. Peter Schweizer is the president of the Government Accountability Institute and author of the book Clinton Cash. Peter, welcome back to the show. Good to have you here.
Great to be with you, Martha.
Thank you. We just keep working through all of these issues as they continue to come up, and this is a Wall Street Journal story that brought this to our attention, as we point out. Let's take the first issue on first, that people who are donating to the campaign are also big Clinton Foundation donors. What's the problem with that?
Yeah, well, I think the problem is where do you draw the line between the charity, which is tax exempt, you get obviously tax credit when you make a donation to that, and a political campaign. You are supposed to, according to IRS regulations, keep those separate. What we know is not only is there an overlap in donors, Martha, of people that give to the foundation and give to the political campaign, but actually the personnel. The head of development at the Clinton Foundation had previously been a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign. That individual has now gone back and joined the campaign. So it's this blurring of the lines, what I call the Clinton blur, which is the problem that comes with sort of ethical conduct. You need to keep very clear lines, and they don't seem to be doing that.
But no one seems to be pressing them on that. You know, the elections committee or anybody along those lines saying, wait a minute, so this person never does any business for both, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, this is the question, of course, is where is law enforcement? Where are there entities that are investigating these things? Some people think that it's because the Clintons have an ability to intimidate law enforcement. Perhaps it's because the Department of Justice and the federal apparatus is being run by Barack Obama. You know, who knows? But the question is, I think journalists need to continue to ask these questions, and these are relevant questions for voters, because if an individual can't get the ethical conduct right in these areas, what's going on behind closed doors that we don't even know about?
Right. Now, this UBS story I find fascinating. I mean, there were thousands and thousands of people that were being investigated by the Justice Department, American citizens, for basically stashing their cash in Switzerland so they didn't have to pay taxes on it. And she got involved in negotiating a deal to help the bank sort of settle all that with the IRS. Why on earth would she be involved in that as Secretary of State?
That's a very, very good question. It was an unusual intervention on her part. And here's the interesting thing, Martha. There's a history between UBS and the Clintons going back to early 2001. You remember the Mark Rich scandal, the international fugitive that was pardoned on the last day by Bill Clinton. Well, a senior executive from UBS actually wrote a letter to Bill Clinton weeks before that, pleading for him to pardon Mark Rich. After Bill Clinton left the White House, UBS was negotiating for Bill Clinton to do a series of lucrative speeches. That was suspended because of the Mark Rich uproar. Now flash forward to 2009, UBS is under the gun from the IRS in the United States and the Department of Justice to hand over the names of Americans who are dodging taxes. Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, intervenes, fixes that problem for UBS, and lo and behold, UBS opens its wallet, not only giving hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Clinton Foundation, backing loans for Clinton Foundation projects, but lines up $1.5 million in speaking fees for Bill, something that they had not done previous because of the Mark Rich situation. It's a very, very troubling and sketchy issue, I think.
The donations from UBS went up 10 times after that deal was worked out, and I still can't figure out why that would really, you know, she called herself in that soundbite, I'm the nation's top diplomat. That's what I do. Is that the work of the nation's top diplomat, to make sure that United States potential tax evaders are getting off and work a deal with United Bank of Switzerland? Very, very interesting stuff. Thank you very much, Peter. Always good to have you with us.
Thanks, Martha.